There's an old saying, there's two most important days on the planet, the day you were born and the day you find out why you were born. My next guest learned when she was 7 years old. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is The Jeff Crilley Show.
I love it when you find out your destiny when you're a child, and my next guest is Tanya Scott. She is a master certified trainer and coach. She's my friend, and she found out when she was just 7 years old what her calling was. Tanya, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
Well, the honor is mine. Tell us about when you're 7.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so it started for me on the playground. I started seeing people getting bullied and a lot of groups happening, and I thought, I should do something about this. So I would go and really, I didn't know it was coaching back then, but help people, stop bullying each other, be kind to each other, think positively, and so forth. And so all of a sudden, people were paying me 25 cents to get advice. And so that lasted all the way till 5th grade. And they said, yeah, no, you can't be making money off the children.
Well, you remind me of the comic strip Peanuts, because Lucy was doing that. The doctor's in.
It's true. I was the Lucy. And fast forward, that's what my calling was to do in life, is to help people through tragedy and trauma and so
wow.
forth. Yeah.
Well, your career progressed and you began working with world famous names like Tony Robbins and give us some others.
Yeah, John Maxwell. Joe Dispenza.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us
the
experience you learned from working around these greats.
The experience gave me the permission to really be my authentic self. They had tools. They helped me through tragedy that happened to me when I was young. When I was 14 years old, I thought I was on a certain path. I grew up in a very well-to-do family. I came from a father who was great. He was a national football, CFL football player. And, our house looked like, oh, it's just so great. And then tragedy struck. And so when tragedy struck, I just sat there and just thought, oh my God, my life is over. And even after helping all these kids and so forth, I felt my life was over. And lo and behold, these teachers like Jim Rowe and again, the people I just mentioned really gave me tools and permission to say, you don't have to stay suffering. You can do something about that. And so through my 30-something years in this field, personal development field, I now have tools too. I've taken from different places and so forth. And now I help other people do exactly what I did, which is come from nothing, come from brokenness to resiliency. Yeah, that's really the key.
I love that. We're going to pull up her website, and as we scroll down the website, I want you to talk about some of these courses that you're giving these days. Anger, resentment, parenting, marriage. What is it about these categories that call you?
Listen, we have a wheel of life, and in this wheel of life are different categories. And sometimes everything's going well, and then sometimes not so much in certain categories like marriage or parenting or even with yourself. And so all my courses are geared to help you understand where you're stuck. I call it the dirty dozen. There are a dirty dozen emotions that we have to deal with at some point in time. And so I have tools to help you. So Love is an Inside Job is one of them. From Rat Race to Sanity is another. I have a 15-minute coach. I have coaching program. So many, because over 30 years I have quite a material and a lot of great testimonials from that work. So I look forward to sharing that with the world now. It's time.
Well, you've appeared on dozens of podcasts. We're going to show some video from one of them. You will soon be hosting your own show on our network, and that's called From Rat Race to Sanity.
Yeah.
I love that name. How did you come up with that?
Because I have no idea. I'm sleeping, and then it's like, what am I doing with people? What is going on in the world? And with the Lucys and the Karens and the Lulus in the world, it's like, what is going on? It's a rat race. You're like in this hamster wheel going on and on. I'm like, no. I have tools, I have systems, I have processes that help people get off the hamster wheel and stop and get back to sanity and balance, love and appreciation and grace with grit.
Well, Tanya, I know that we all kind of play loops in our mind, and there are times when I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm obsessing about a problem, and I keep saying to myself, man, I need to sleep. I mean, I'm going to be no good to anyone if I can't sleep, but I'm still playing this loop. How do you break that loop?
So 2 things. When you must break the state, by what that means is get up out of bed, right? Or get out of this situation. Move your body is first and foremost, okay? Put water in your face. Maybe do a cold plunge, honestly, just to shake up, because you're going around in your head and it's causing you angst. And the more you think, when you stay in your head, you're really dead, right? So you want to get to your heart space. And so you ask yourself a powerful question. What is really going on? What do I need in this moment? What will I do in this moment? Lastly, what do I really, really want? And it's usually peace, calm, feeling safe, being okay with what is. So, and you can do this yourself. You don't have to have anybody to do that for you.
Wow.
But I do have programs to help you as well. Some people say, some people do prayer, right? So take it off yourself because you're running a negative pattern.
Yes.
And we're going to break that.
Tell us one of your favorite stories. You don't have to name the client, but tell us one of your favorite success stories.
Gosh, so many. All right. So I had a client come to me that was an opera singer, and she wanted to audition for the Met. And she didn't have confidence, and so she hired me to help her with the confidence. She sang like a songbird and so forth, but she didn't have the confidence to go in and apply. So I worked with her about a year or so-ish, and she got confidence. And finally, she felt she didn't look the part, so she didn't like how she looked. So we worked on that and changing her identity. So the identity that I don't deserve, I don't have. I have a beautiful voice. People tell me I have a beautiful voice, but I don't believe it. She needed to believe it for herself. So through our work, she started to believe for herself, started getting stronger and stronger in her own identity of who she was as a singer. She had a couple of role models that she loved in the opera world, and she modeled them. And lo and behold, she put in her application, and guess what? She got the lead role in the opera.
That's huge.
The Met. That was, I have chills. Incredible.
Congratulations.
Lots of stories like that.
All right, let's talk about your coaching style, because every coach has a different style. How would you describe your own style?
Yeah. I'm like Zorro. Right? I'm a confidant, right? I'm a confident coach, really. So you can come to me and speak to me about whatever. Because of my experience, I don't kiss and tell, first and foremost. Number 2 is like, I really get to the essence. Sometimes you get in, it's like therapy. You sit there over and over again. Who cares? Nobody cares. What I care about is, what is it that you want in this moment? What do you want to do about it, and where do you want to go? So I'm just, my clients say that I'm laser focused, I'm kind, I'm brutal, but kind and loving and caring, but the key is they don't feel judged. I'm that kind of coach. I'm ready to, now there'll be people, well, you got to be 1,000% more committed about your life than I am.
Yes.
And then I'm more committed for you too. So that's the kind of coach I am. I mean, it's like slice and dice and dissect and really get to the root cause of what's happening. So a lot of these programs out here now are like, think and, read a book. And no, it's not about that. It's what is the root cause? And you don't know the root cause until you have time to really do the work and ask the questions and be real with what is. So I'm pretty much a realist.
Tanya, let's talk about the reason people hire a coach, because we could all, go to Amazon right now and buy a bunch of books on diet and exercise and read them, but people need trainers sometimes to hold them accountable. And, you're going to be at the gym at 7 o'clock, not 7:05.
That's true.
So in the life coaching space, people need an accountability partner.
They do. They do. It is the accountability partner, but it's also about a place for someone to go and feel heard and seen and connected. So many times, sometimes in a marriage, you're disconnected, but you're connected to your coach, and your coach is to train you and teach you how to be connected to self first and then to others appropriately, right? So that is really why you hire a coach to, bring those books to life, to be honest. I mean, one of my favorite books is, I got this book 3 times in corporate America. I worked for Coca-Cola for many years, so I was trained by the best of the best in reference to training and mindset and sales and persuasion. And the book I got from 3 different managers, 3 different seasons of my career, was How to Influence Friends, How to Win and Influence Friends. I mean, 3 times. The first time I threw it in the trash, second time I threw it in the trash, and the second time I was like, I should really read this. Not only did I read it, but then I brought it to life because I hired a coach.
Wow. That's a beautiful story. Okay, we have about 2 minutes left.
Ooh.
Tanya, look into the camera on the left and talk to that person who might need
This one?
this
No.
one right
Okay,
here, that
okay.
might need to hire you. I mean, what's the process look like? Do you get on a Zoom call with them and see if it's a fit?
Yeah, well, the first thing is go to my website, TanyaScottCoaching.com, and there's plenty of ways to get a hold of me. You look at my resume, you look at if it's a good fit for you, and that's how we do it. And then you book a call, and we go from there. That's how you get a hold. So I have several programs for you to choose from.
All right. We should let you know that she raised her prices from $0.25 when she was 7, so it's not quite.
Not quite 25 cents. No. Inflation.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with her website again, TanyaScottCoaching.com. The great Tanya Scott. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
bet.
Oh my
That's it for now.
God.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.